Welcome to Sieve, the podcast of the smart, for the smart, and by the smart. I'm Bapi Rajananduri and I'm a seeker. This podcast is a small token of gratitude, a Guru Dakshina to the countless gurus that have taught me invaluable lessons in my life and career. We will cover trends in technology like cloud, quantum, and artificial intelligence, lessons in management, best kept secrets of career development, masterclass in leadership by the gurus, and many more in my podcast. In today's episode, let's talk about a very interesting topic. What's the new currency of 2021? Perhaps you'll agree with me in saying that 2020 has been a textbook example of the VUCA world. It's been volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Let's talk about the mantra for success in the new year. Let's discuss about the new currency of 2021. Let's start with a story from my career. When I started my career in software development, I worked for many startups. I played several roles in projects. Although I started as a developer, the needs of the business have driven me to play many more roles. I was a database administrator for some time, then did business development, called on the clients for closing the deals, came back to office to write down the requirements as a business analyst, then spent the weekends and late nights to sit and write code. Given these were startups and small teams, I knew pretty much every small detail about most of those projects. After spending a few years like this, came my big break. I was hired to set up a R&D center. It came as a surprise to me at the time because I knew that the company was talking to many people with great credentials and experience. After I accepted the offer, my boss took me out for dinner. That's when I asked him why I was picked. He smiled at me and said something that I remember to this day. He said, "You are right. There were many candidates who were better qualified and more experienced than you, but we have hired you for your ability to learn new things quickly and deliver." That's the first time I realized the importance of skills. Of course, skills are the new currency. In fact, that's the only currency that hasn't gone out of fashion ever. Its value is always growing with every passing year, and 2021 is no exception. Let's look at 2020 in retrospect. There are very few industries, if at all any, that remain the same. Every single industry, domain, line of work, job that I am aware has changed significantly. Organizations had to learn many things. Employees had to learn many things. Families had to learn many things. Even kids had to learn many things that were not expected of them at all. After attending the online classes for the last 6 months, my 10-year-old daughter beats me in using Zoom. She knows a gazillion hacks that I did not even know existed. Now, contrast that with what we had to do at work. In the last few years, when the industry moved on to online meetings, many organizations have invested millions of hours to train their workforces to use the technology. Hundreds of thousands of dollars went into designing courses, scheduling trainings, and ensuring that the entire organization picked up that skill. As I think of it now, it seems bizarre that we had to do it that way and it costed us that much. In 2020, 10-year-olds are doing these things effortlessly. 2020 for sure showed us the possibilities. It changed our perspective. There are many lessons that 2020 taught us. Among them is the mantra for an everlasting success in your career. That's the new currency of 2021. Skills are the new currency of 2021. You build the skills in order to be relevant. You learn new things so that you can ride the wave. You learn, practice, and improve. You evolve. When this happens, when you are a role model of growth mindset, your boss wants you in her team, your team wants to work for you, your organization wants to recognize you, your competition wants to get inspired, the industry wants to listen to you and learn. Remember, skills are the new currency of 2021. Here are 3 do's and don'ts for building skills. These are from my experience and they have given me great results. First of all, let's start with 3 do's. Be open. My mentor long time ago told me that our mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So be open-minded. Be open to the possibilities. You never know what's in store for you. Albert Einstein said that the mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. Considering all possibilities and working with the most practical ideas is a sign of growth. So be open. Be curious. We have all learned in our childhood that curiosity kills the cat. When it comes to jobs and careers, nothing can be further from truth. On the contrary, it's curiosity that gets you ahead in your career. Remember that millions saw the apple fall, but Newton asked why. Being curious lets you ask questions, and that's actually, in fact, a confession of ignorance. That requires courage. There are no foolish questions. Knowing how to question will take you a long way, not only in your career, but also in your life. So, be curious. Be teachable. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. You should always be willing to learn, unlearn, relearn. Things are changing super fast these days. What we have learned in our life is useful, but that may not give us success that we deserve. Learning is the most important skill that gets you ahead, irrespective of the circumstances. So there you go. Being open-minded, being curious, and willing to learn and unlearn are 3 keys to pick up skills. Now, what are some of the don'ts? Don't be the victim of the arrival syndrome. When you think you have arrived, perhaps you're right. You have arrived and that's the end of your growth. Arrival syndrome is usually the result of lack of interest and enthusiasm to move ahead. Lethargy kicks in and end of story. Remember that success is never ending and failure is never final. So please don't fall for the I have arrived syndrome. Don't look into the rearview mirror to drive ahead. I have come across many people who boast about their past and bet their future success on their past accomplishments. A dangerous trap. Yes, it's important to recognize your past accomplishments. They have a place in your career and in your life. They are a result of your blood, sweat, and tears. Of course, you will have to be very proud about them. But then, remember what the mutual fund advertisement says. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Same applies to your career too. Build on your past accomplishments, draw from those experiences, and become wiser. If you want to drive ahead, don't depend on the rearview mirror. Look straight. Don't settle. The mantra is continuous improvement. There is always a better, faster, cheaper, productive way to do things. You have reached a milestone? Great, congratulations. Maybe you can take a brief pause to celebrate your accomplishment and then move on. Retrospect, learn from your mistakes, think of the ways you could do it better and faster next time. Build on your experience and consolidate your expertise. Don't settle. So, there you go. Skills are the currency of 2021. And these are some of the tips and techniques that gave me great results in my career. Hope you find them useful too. That brings us to the end of today's episode. You're listening to Sieve, the podcast of the smart, for the smart, and by the smart. There is an interesting lineup of topics on technology, careers, management, and leadership in 2021, exclusively curated for you. We know you're a busy person, so we sieve the theory and share with you only those smart ideas that you can put to use right away. Sieve is driven by smart listeners like you, so feel free to tweet us your feedback at Sieve Forever. That is at SIEVEFOREVER. We know you want your friends also to benefit from these ideas, so please subscribe and share. Thank you for tuning in. Let's meet again in the next episode. Until then, take care. All the best.